you a gangbanger, huh? You got a gang that you claim, but you ain't never been up the road or never been incarcerated on the other side of that gate when it comes time to push the line that you're supposed to represent. For this video here, I'm gonna tell you what happens if you get sent on a mission by your head, your big homie, your godfather, whoever it is, and you fail.
Haha, I'm the best. Finna be this way till I EOS. Take it how you want, nigga. Yeah, I'm a pro. Fuck around and bust your lot while you're at Vizzo. I hate to be this way, but I live for the moment. Waking up every day, show me an opponent. Shanks on deck, hitting bitch with locks. So much pool, I can even start you from the box. You don't wanna pay rent, got me bent. Got lax on deck, your money was well spent. Vultures on the prowl, so don't try testing. Step 2 comes violent, first steps finessing. You a hold down man, suitcase this. My cell phone and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see your ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, everybody? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead and do me that solid favor, man. Hit that like, subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. This video right here is for the gang members, or people who want to join a gang. People who got it in the back of their mind like, man, you know what? I've been wanting to be part of this organization for some time now. Or someone that was, you know, idolizing a certain organization while they was young. Now, you know, they idolized them so long and looked up to this organization that they can't wait for the perfect timing to join them. You want to join a gang, that's cool. You do what you got to do. At the end of the day, everybody stands for whatever they stand for. Salute to all the real gang members out there. Salute to all the real gangsters that hold it down and that truly got they all into it, all right? But I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all what happens when you're incarcerated and you fail a mission that they happen to send you on. This right here is a good topic that I haven't seen no one really touch. And it makes perfect sense because there's a whole big old population of gang members that come home on the streets, right? That you know, they get brought home, they join the organization on the streets, but they never did any time behind the fence while pushing that line. You understand? Now, I know that ones that come home on the streets are more respected than the ones that come home up the road. You feel me? Especially if you came home on the streets, went to prison, still banged your shit, got out, was on the streets again, and then went back again. So the more times you go back from in and out and done been up the road and been on the streets while pushing your line, the more respect that your name actually carries, all right? Now, a lot of people don't really know that when you come home to a gang on the streets, you might not even have to put in that work. You might not even have a mission. You might have some type of, you know, shit that they tell you y'all do amongst the group. You know, go get the dues from these people, the people that are supposed to pay up. Y'all go get it. Go run these people off the block. You know, certain things like that. I'm talking about real deal hits, one-on-one type shit, where they say, you see that dude right there? We want him off the compound before chow. And it ain't like you have the time to say, but why? Or what did he do? Or you can't even question them. You understand? You have to do what you were told. Some people do. There's thousands of people incarcerated that do what they're told, you know, just because they want to push their shit. They want to be a name and a face behind the organization that they bang with. Okay? But people on the streets, they don't have to do as many missions as you would inside a prison. You feel me? And there's a lot of people that are gang members from the streets that never had to go on a serious mission like that. The only missions there are in prison, 9 times out of 10, are violent. All right? And that's why when people who are on the streets go to prison and never been there before, say out of 10 of them, say 10 people from the streets who are gangbanging go up the road, right? Out of that 10, maybe 6 will make it. 4 won't. Why? Because they got to do things that they never ever expected to do. They never ever knew this was part of signing up for the shit that they signed up for. You feel me? So when they get in there and then they get told this is what they have to do, and you're doing it for someone that's just higher than you, that you don't know from a can of paint, someone you might not even fuck with. That ain't the person that brought you home. That ain't the person that, you know, you're up under. You ain't his stamp or his stan or whatever it is. You feel me? So it's like, here, you're moving because this dude's telling you to move. But after a while, people are used to that, being up under someone else that ain't got shit to do with how they got there. They just know that's the dude they got to take orders from. And what do you think happens when they fail their missions? They tell you to go wet that dude up. You think they're going to always hand you the knife to go do it? You think they're going to always hold your hand during the whole situation? No. They tell you that shit. It don't mean they're going to always hand you a banger or hand you the razor to go cut them with. That means your mission starts now, and you have until chow time to get that individual off the compound. That means you got to find where to get you a knife. You got to find who you know that's got a piece of metal. Hopefully it's already sharpened, because that'll save you time, and so you can do what you have to do. And then a lot of times when people go to do the missions, you know, their mind and their heart be in the right place. You know, they truly are trying to get the individual that they was told they had to get, without even asking questions. All right, shit, say no more, fam. Or say no more, manito. Or say no more, blood. Or whatever they say, you know what I'm saying? Say no more, loc. You feel me? Say no more, boss. However they all say it. You feel me? Now, they got good mind and good heart. You know, they're doing what they're told to do. And they're going to go, and this individual obviously did some shit. So they're going to go ahead and do what it is that they're told to do about that person. Right? And guess what? A lot of times people flop. They fold. Their mission gets sidetracked by other things. It fails. You never know what happens. And then even though that person had a good mind and a good heart behind it all, he still failed. And depending on who it is that you were running with and how it is on that compound, or what the dude did that you actually have to go harm, they can X you out over that shit. You could be a gang member for 15, 20 years, fail one time, and if it's that severe, they'll eat you. They will make you a plate. Now you're an entree on that plate. Literally. I'm just keeping it real. I've seen it so many times happen inside of prison. Just like I've seen so many people successfully complete their missions. I've seen people fumble when they didn't even mean to fumble. Walk up and try to hit the dude in front of the chow hall, and the banger they had bent. It didn't even puncture the dude's skin that much. It bent. That shit didn't feel like it was bending when he was fit, you know, seeing how flimsy it was before he actually had to use it in action, before there was force behind it. Like I said, he had good intentions and good heart behind his nation, but the knife bent. I've seen another one where a dude went to pull a knife out and the handle came off and he dropped the knife. The handle wasn't wrapped around it good enough. It was a cloth, like a piece of a towel, washcloth, and it was on there real good. That was his handle, because some of them, you'll hurt yourself, you know, holding these knives and bangers and shit. It can hurt your hand. You feel me? So, you know, a lot of them are wrapped with handles. People take their time and try to make it to where, you know, that shit's comfortable when you use it. But here, if you go to pull that bitch out quick enough, you know, the handle will come out and the whole knife will fall forward. Now you're in the middle of a situation where a dude knows you was coming for him. Not all that shit be like this. A lot of that shit, they know. They know what time it is. And in prison, they be waiting for you to come when they know that they're on a plate. They're like, I wish a bitch would, because a lot of them are trained to go and are willing to take down the person with them that comes with them. Like, okay, yeah, there's more y'all than me, so I'm not going to act first, and I'm not going to, you know, run around like a chicken with my head cut off and just dive into the water head first coming for y'all because I'm outnumbered. But whoever you send at me, just know, whoever you send at me, they going to get airlifted about this motherfucker with me. You feel me? And that's what people in their mind have. You feel me? I've seen to where someone actually had a banger and hit the dude, and when he swung back again to hit the dude again, handle came off. You feel me? Hit him one time, the bitch didn't go in him that good, pulled it out and dropped the whole knife again in the middle of the situation. You ain't got time to bend over and pick that knife up. If you do, then so be it. But a lot of times you don't. And now what do you think they did to that person? What do you think? I know one thing. I ran into his ass at a whole nother camp, and he had a scar across his whole mouth. And he was asking, man, you remember when I hit the dude out there by the rec yard when we was at such and such? And I said, yeah. And he's like, yeah, man, my own brothers, bitch, they betrayed me behind that. You see? You fuck around and you go on a mission. You know? If you actually go on the mission, yeah, you get the little respect that you tried. But depending how close they are to you, and not every brother is your brother, like they say. You feel me? Depending how close they are to you, and even if they are close, if the higher power says, eat him, because he failed. All the ones that are cool with you, they're going to turn their cheek against that judgment, and they're going to be after you, just like all the ones who voted for you to be eaten out of your own organization. Like, that shit gets serious. People fail missions all the time, and in my eyes, it wouldn't even look like it was a fail. You know, they could tell you, okay, check this out. This dude over here on this side of the compound, he's been playing with our money, and he's been lying to us for the last 3 months about it. I'm tired of him lying. I'm tired of his shit. I want you to go leave a scar on his mouth. Since he wants to talk and tell lies, I want you to go rip his mouth open. Before you get over there to get him, next thing you know, boom, you get caught with a knife. They catch you with the razor blade. They shake you down. Now you go to confinement. A lot of times, your own gang is going to feel like you pulled the check-in stunt. Straight up. Because that's what people do. A lot of people who truly ain't living like that, who are just toting fire or borrowing someone else's knife or whatever it may be, they start getting more reckless with it. They start being like, instead of, you know, hiding it and being discreet with the way that they mob the compound when they're strapped. Same thing with people on the streets that, you know, claim they got fire and they go around everywhere and they claim they this, they claim they that or whatever. And then they used to move you real under the radar the whole way. Just like mobbing on the compound was under the radar. But then truly when it came down to when they was actually going to have to put that shit to use, they started getting sloppy with it. And when they get sloppy with it, that means that they eventually get caught up and leave a paper trail, and they get caught up so it looks like they pulled a check-in stunt, so that way they didn't actually have to do to that person what they was entitled to do. All this shit that they always told they would do, and how they rob it, they find, how they gonna wet a bitch, or they gonna poke them up, they gonna do this. Now they're in a situation where they have to do that. That's the only outcome. And everyone that knows them is looking for them to do that. They have eyes on them. So now they get caught with either a gun on the streets or they get caught with a knife in the chain gang and they pull a check-in stunt. So that way now it looks like, oh shit, look what happened to him. He can't do that. But in all reality, he did that on purpose. You see what I'm saying? And that a lot of times leads it to where people get wet up by their own kind because it looks like you pulled a check-in stunt. Here you done made it across the compound, your whole bid. Whole time you've been there, you done been on the sideline and made it across the compound strapped up with a knife with no problems. All of a sudden when you're on a hit, now you got to go wet this person up by chow, you got caught with a banger out of nowhere. And then there's going to always be somebody, whether it's cameras or whether it is someone individually that sees it. There's always someone watching somehow. And either the cameras catch you on the streets, or in chain gang, someone there seen when you went to confinement, and then your brother's going to be asking him, oh, what happened? Oh, nothing, this and that, and then the same story he gives them, and they mind going to be like, man, he pulled a check-in stunt. You feel me? And that's what happens. And now it's like you failed the mission because that dude didn't get off the compound around the time that your brother said he had to get off the compound. And say that ain't even it. Say the dude decided to check in before you get to him. Say they tell you you got to hit him up and you truly had your mind and heart on the whole situation, and now you're going to get him. You're going to his dorm, you go there, he ain't there, they're on the rec yard. So now you're like, damn, I got to find a way to the rec yard. Next thing you know, they lock the compound down, they send everybody back to the dorm. You're like, all right, when they lift the compound again, I'm going to get him. Next thing you know, before they lift the compound again, you see him getting escorted across the compound with the officers. He's going straight to confinement. He checked in because people in the dorm told him that you came in there looking for him. And he already knows, up, that means they're coming to eat me. So he checked in. Now it looks like you failed because you let him check in. You didn't get to him quicker. You should have got to him quicker. And people get wet up and stabbed up by their own kind over that type of shit. They're not doing that on the streets. People ain't doing these type of things on the streets to their own kinds. It can happen. I'm not saying that it won't ever and it never has, but it isn't a day-to-day process. It isn't like every single day people are going on missions in there. And, you know, and then if something happens, if you don't catch the guy you're supposed to catch, then, oh, you're getting your fucking flag taken and they're stomping you out. They're going to wet you up. They're going to do all that shit to you. It don't happen like that on the streets as much as in the chain gang. In the chain gang, it happens every single day. Every single day. Not a day goes by that it does not happen. Literally. That's just the lifestyle in there. You feel me? And, you know, it could bring problems elsewhere when you fail a mission as a gang member. It ain't even got to be on you, you know, purposely. And say you pull a check-in stunt or say that they end up getting you and it ain't enough. and say you end up rocking out against whoever comes and gets you. Because it ain't going to always be your kind. It ain't like, oh, you failed the mission, so you know to keep your eyes on your own kind. They're going to come for you. They can put a little PayPal on your head, and a bitch will come after you for $50. A bitch will come after you for an ounce of Tunchi. A bitch will come after you for a carton of cigarettes. You know, no matter what it is, a different gang will step up to the plate, and they will take that. And next thing you know, you got a different organization coming and hitting you up because you failed the mission. Literally. And then the whole time, they'll be in your face, kikiing with you and shit, not even talking about the mission no more. They, you know, y'all done came together and y'all got them the next day. And you won't even think nothing of it. But low-key, they done put that word in behind you because you failed. You see? That's the type of shit that happens. And then it could be to the point to where you put your own peoples in harm's way. You know, you can have it to where people's out there on the streets, your loved ones, your family, your kids. You know, you fail a mission inside the chain gang, man. Them bitches might, you know, tap in with the people on the streets and make some people in front of your kid's school, or have some people out there by your old girl's job, or when your sister, you know, goes to pick your niece and nephew up from daycare or whatever. And, you know, that's the type of things that could happen if you fail a mission. Literally. That's why I say when people become gang members, make sure you're all the way committed. Make sure that there isn't nothing that is going to make you not be 100 throughout the rest of your life. Literally. You feel me? And make sure there isn't nothing from the past that's been swept under the rug, that's been hidden. Because that shit is eventually going to come out. And when it does come out, you already know. It's common sense. It happens every single day on the streets as well. People do get out of, you know, when it comes to organizations and shit. But don't get me wrong, people make it through prison that are gang members that, you know, ain't been discovered of their fucked up past. And it happens all the time, you know. It isn't like, oh, if there's no way he made it through prison being a rat because they would have been found out. Or there's no way that he messed with boys, that he had a messed up charge with children and made it through his whole bid because they would have found out. That isn't true, because people make it through there like that all the time. All the time. And then, if they do end up going back, though, down the line, after it came out about them, you know, after they were released, you know, that shit could catch up to them even easier on their next time. On their next trip in there, that shit can 9 times out of 10 catch up to them. Straight up, you know, and that's the way the cookie crumbles, dog. That's the way the shit goes down. Like, yeah, you was like this your whole bid, and you made it through there or whatever, so no one knew the true you. No one knew who you truly was. You went in there with a fake nickname, told them you got your nickname while you was in prison and hid your whole past. But then you get out, bitches find out the truth about you. If you go back up the road, you feel me? Bitches are going to be like, oh, nah, I didn't know about him because his real nickname was such and such. You feel me? But yeah, we heard such and such was a rat, or we heard such and such messed with boys. You feel me? But he don't go by that name here in prison. He's got a different nickname. They try to cover shit up. I've seen it happen multiple times. You feel me? That's why I say, you join a gang, just make sure your ass is fully committed for whatever you sign up for. And when it comes to doing a mission, it's totally different in the chain gang than it is on the streets. Don't get me wrong, on the streets, they send you on missions, but you could be a gang member for 6-7 years on the streets and go to prison and never seen any type of missions that they'll have you on in prison. In prison, almost every single hit has to do with them wanting to see if you're truly going to rock behind the nation. Also, there could be ones that don't truly like you that much, and they feel like you're just a waste of, you know, a slot on their roster. You know, like they don't truly fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's, for instance, I'm going to break it down as an example. Say you go to a compound and there's 20 East Side Bloods, right? Now, out of them 20 East Side Bloods, say 17 of them are all under the same set, though. They're all under the same East Side set. Them other 3, them 17 might want to eat. They might feel like if it ain't they way, it's no way. Even though they East Side and we East Side, but fuck that. They ain't part of our East Side. You know what I'm saying? They either get down or lay down. They either patty cake over here or we get them up off the pound. And then a lot of times, you know, they might feel like, you know, he's too soft, you know, like, and they can't really do to him what they want because they not the same set. Even though they are both East Side, they shake up, dap up, and shit like that. But it's up to them if they're gonna listen to what this dude says. You see what I'm saying? Now, out of them 3 dudes, if 3 of them was all the same set, one of them dudes gonna be the head of their thing. One of them 3 right there gonna be the one that gives the word to the other 2. So them, out of the other two, they ain't really got to listen to the other guys, the 17 of them. You feel me? So they might send them boys on a hit. They might, get in the heads of the three, out of them three people, they might get in the head and tell them like, hey, look, you feel me? You need to send such and such. And then he might be like, all right, fuck it. And he might just say, okay. And then boom, they send one of them dudes feeling like he's going to fail the mission or knowing he ain't going to be able to complete it like they want. And now they get to eat him. In all reality, it was like a dummy mission. They knew he wasn't going to be able to catch the guy in time, or they knew he was going to get knocked off with a knife, or whatever it may be. Now they got a reason to eat him. Because like I said, every brother ain't your brother. Bitches be trying to wait and find a reason to plate your ass. Make straight deer meat. You went from being a gang member to be considered deer meat. Now you're deer meat. Straight up. And like I said, there'll be a lot of dudes that are fully committed with it. Got their mind and their whole heart into the whole organization. Been banging for years on the streets. Come to the chain gang. And then all of a sudden, they could be like, yeah, we want this dude wet up. Blah, blah, blah. Got till lunchtime to get him off. Check this out. We are going to help you. Take this knife and go get him. And then they freeze up. Now they're truly put in a situation where they got to do it on their own. This ain't a drive-by on the streets where you can drive from a distance and hit a bitch from outside the car. This is where you got to run up on their ass and give it to them. See? Because at the end of the day, guns kill people. You know what I'm saying? Not the people. That's the guns doing that. It take a real savage, a real soldier, a real killer to run up on someone like this and try to do them in with a knife. You see? So now they're looking at the knife like, what the fuck? Now they're trying to think of whatever way they possibly can to get out of this situation. Because in all reality, they're scared. They're nervous. They never truly had to do that. And they've been banging 6 to 10 years on the streets already. But the worst they had to do was teach the old lady on the block a lesson about calling the police over and over again. Rough a couple dudes up with like 3 of his brothers though. Rough these couple dudes up and run down on these people, or run up and get one dude off of the block that ain't a gangbanger, that was scared of the gang that he was repping anyways. Like little things that they feel like they did on the streets that made them feel like they was putting in work behind their organization ain't shit when you go to prison. When you go to prison, man, that's when you see who's truly rocking out behind their gang, who's truly going to rep that shit. You feel me? And who's truly going to do the missions and make sure they're complete. Some bitches make sure it's complete. They hit extra people if they have to. They hit extra brothers of that person. They hit innocent bystanders, civilians. They try to mop the whole crew. You feel me? Like that's the way that gang members are supposed to carry themselves in there, Like if they find themselves in a situation, they're supposed to mash the gas and be fully committed to it. But a lot of these dudes freeze up. A lot of these dudes that were banging on the streets went to prison and they made their way through. They got lucky that, they wasn't the one that had to do the hit. They wasn't just the one that amped up the other person with the other people saying, yeah, go get him. Or y'all boys got to get this dude off the compound. You 4 have till tomorrow to get him off. Now out of them 4, one holds a knife, and then all the other 3, run down on the dude, and the other one acts like he was a part of it by making him check in. You know what I'm saying? Like it isn't like a one-on-one mission. I'm telling you. Fuck around and you get put on one of these missions and you fail, it could cost you your life. It could cost your loved ones their life. It can cost you pain. It can cost you all types of tragedy shit, especially inside a prison. I've seen it happen multiple times. Don't be one of them ones that go on a mission and flop. If you get put on a mission and that's, you made the bed, you got to lay in it. If you get put on a mission, man, you be all the way committed with it and you do what you got to do. Don't play with them people. Because I'm telling you, them people wouldn't play with you if it was the other way around, because what they brothers would do to them. Straight up. Bitches get their tattoos removed over that. A bitch can have a tattoo. He can be repping the gang to the fullest. And like I said, he can have to wet someone up and that dude checked in before he got to him. Since they weren't able to wet him up, they feel like he failed. Now they finna X amount. He can't bang this set no more at all. They better not hear him claiming it no more on the compound. And he's got to cover his tattoos up. He's got till tomorrow now to find a tattoo man to get them shits covered up, or he's going to become deer meat. And then here you've been repping this shit on the streets for 6 years. Come to the chain gang and over this shit, taking orders from someone you don't know. They consider it a failed mission. Now you covering up what you stand for, what you rep, and you ain't even allowed to rep it no more. And then Them same type of people that done got X'd out of gangs and shit like that will come home on the streets. After they bid's over with, they'll come on the streets and still rep that shit. They'll still have the bandana hanging out their pocket, mobbing everywhere they go, still putting on and shaking up with certain people because they feel like word of mouth ain't gonna travel from inside the chain gang to the streets, just like with the people who got a fucked up past and got shit swept up under the rug about them snitching and messing with boys or children. That shit didn't come from the streets to the chain gang right away either. So they'll come home on the streets and then they'll still be shaking up and dapping up with people until it comes out later on down the line also. But when it comes down to that on the streets, 9 times out of 10, they ain't finna come over here and look for you. They ain't finna go over there and look for you because, oh, you still out here repping that shit when you ain't supposed to rep that shit. Man, they might pull up on you and beat you up. Anytime they see you, they might try to beat you up. But they're not going in to look for you. You feel me? They're not going to go out of their way and look for you. They're not going to come up to you and make you remove your tattoos on the streets. Because the world is so big. People are thinking about money. Bitches are getting money on the streets in gangs with other organizations. The same organizations that they go to war with in prison. Bitches will be on the streets, they best friend. It could be a Blood and a Crip. Them boys are together 24/7 out here getting money. Straight up. Bloods and Crips are going through it right now in prison. They both heard it from their heads or from the people that they know that are still locked up. They both hearing both sides of the story. It's totally different. In the chain gang, the Bloods and Crips was going through that shit, and you got a Blood homeboy and you a Crip, yeah, y'all, you know what I'm saying? But you got to keep your distance from them. Because if you don't know what his people are telling him about you. You feel me? You don't know if his people are getting in his ear telling him, well, just to show that you choose the gang over your friendship, we want you to wet him. Because this war just popped off. You feel me? So you distance yourself from them. And then the same thing. Once they see you around them all the time, your own kind could be like, hey, look, take this knife. Hit bro. Like, what you mean, bro? Like, that's my homeboy. You feel me? Oh, so you going against the fam for that? You sure that's what you want to do? That's the side you picking? You going against a Loke for a Ola? You feel me? That's how that shit goes down. They put you in them type of situations. And now since you won't do it, you failed. All that. And you're like, damn, that's crazy, bro. Like, all because one of my kind and one of their kind got into it about some fucking soups. Or got into it about a basketball game bet. Or whatever it is. And now look, boom. We could be in confinement together. Vibed out. Been in this bitch hanging out 4 or 5 months together. We're bunkies, bitch. We eat every day together. Bitch, we've been sleeping and shitting in the same room for 3-4 months, bro. Vibing in this bitch. Just kicking it back, chilling. Waiting to knock out the rest of our box time. Our brothers getting to it on the compound. Now all of a sudden I'm getting kites from mine. He's getting kites from him. His is telling his people telling him to hit me. My people telling me to hit him. And then if we don't do it, boom. Next thing you know, both our organizations are going to want us on the compound. If we don't, then they're going to be like, yeah, he had a mission and failed. That shit crazy, man. I'm telling you. Take it from me. But anyways, y'all, I wanted to speak on this topic because I try to do shit different than any other channel. I try to speak on real shit, okay? That's the best way I can explain it. I don't try to sugarcoat, water nothing down. I try to give y'all that real deal. That's why it's called Real Spill. Everything I say is things that I've witnessed with my own 2 eyes, okay? I'm not telling you something that I heard, or I'm not telling you something that I seen on TV 60 days in type shit. No, I'm telling you things that I seen with my own 2 eyes from the knowledge and shit that I learned through the experience of my incarceration, okay? And I'm able to remember all these things. I'm able to break them down for y'all, try to paint the picture to where you can understand it, while me never being a gang member, okay? But, like I said, every camp I went to, every camp, all my homeboys were gang members. The population in there is literally 97 to 98% affiliated people. So, no matter who you get cool with, 9 times out of 10, they are in a gang. Straight up. And that's just how I'm able to know all this shit from all the different organizations that I've been around. You feel me? And you know what they always used to love to tell me? And I heard it from multiple organizations. They would tell me, if this war pops off, Frog, if this war pops off, bro, don't get involved. You feel me? Because they know who they're going to war with. I got some people on that side too. You feel me? So they're basically telling me, don't get involved behind me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just you stay out of it. Let me and my brothers take care of it. Because if you rock out behind me, you know that it's like you're going against that gang. And then you got people that are cool with you in that gang also. So I was always the one that was like told to stay out of it. You feel me? And then You know, through it all, I learned a bunch of different shit. So I try to come on here and give y'all that real spill. I try to break it down for you. I swear on everything when it comes to this Florida shit, I'm the only one that's dropping real shit. People will tell anything on YouTube for views, and that shit be watered down. That shit is cap. That shit is straight bullshit. Y'all take it from me now. I done had hundreds of videos made about me. False accusations about me. Just for views. And then bitches will make another video doing the same thing, saying something different about me that contradicts the first thing they said about me. You see? So, like, you can't believe shit you see on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Which, I don't expect y'all to believe the shit that I'm saying. But at the same time, I'm letting y'all know it don't get more realer than this. I'm going to wrap this video on up. I ain't finna take too much of y'all's time. I appreciate y'all tuning in. And y'all keep rocking with me, man, for that real spill. This shit ain't gonna stop, just like that violence never stopped in prison. Okay? This shit right here ain't nothing but a memory pad. You hear me? A memory pad. All right? But I'm going to wrap it on up. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good night. Till next time, you already know. Keep them squares, rats, clowns, chomos, fucking people that playing sandboxes, fucking fake gang members, all that shit. Keep them out your circle. And smile for the camera one time. Y'all take it easy, man. Till next time, this Frog.